Where do you even start a video like this? Like, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while already. I wanted to do more philosophical kind of videos. I used to do those a lot, like a while back in the beginning, and I miss doing those. I miss the more intelligent conversations, I guess. And I wanted to talk about the fear of death a little bit. Now, to talk about my perception of death, the fear of death, I guess you would first have to understand some of my beliefs a little bit. Like, I don't believe in karma, for example. Good shit happens to bad people and bad shit happens to good people. Somebody could have cancer and still break a leg. And you could be like a serial killer and still win the lottery. I don't believe in the concept of karma. I believe in the soul. I believe in reincarnation to a certain degree. When somebody says to me that they're talking to God, I feel they're borderline schizophrenic. When somebody claims they have been abducted by grey little aliens in UFOs, flying saucers, coming to Earth, anal probing, cow abducting shit, I believe they're simply delusional. It is interesting to know that I would accept the notion of God faster than the notion of alien life, when I do actually believe alien life could be out there in some type of form, not in the UFO grey type kind of bullshit. Whereas I completely deny the existence of God. I do not believe he can, would, or could ever exist. It is absolutely absurd. Now that we have that out of the way, when I was younger, like most people, when I was younger, the idea of death, the fear of death, simply was the idea of dying. The actual act of dying. The physical pain attributed to it, how it could happen. The idea of dying simply was the pain, the moment it exists. The fear of death is simply that. That's how it is for most young people. When you get older, I got, my birthday was like a week ago, a little over a week ago. I'm 32 years old now. Now I already overthink everything. I have like 1,000 thoughts per second. I never stop thinking, analyzing situations all the time. It's one of the reasons why I have these vasovagal syncopes episodes. Because when something happens or a movie or whatever, I overthink. I analyze the situation and I see so many pathways in front of me. My mind, it just doesn't stop. And I had this when I was younger already. So the fear of death when I was younger, when you are younger, it is simple as that. You see your parents grow older. You see them being affected with their backs, with their minds, with their everything. And as a kid, this is a concept you don't understand. But as you grow older, you start to understand the frailty of life a bit more. But my views of death change. Now, for some people, the fear of death stems from their religion. One of the most absurd concepts, I feel, of religion. And they simply fear judgment from whatever being, from whatever the fuck they did in their life. And I just get... If you fear judgment, if that is what you fear in death, then you are already living life wrong, because then you know you're doing shit you're not supposed to do. But like I said, for me, the fear of death, it has gotten a lot deeper over the years. Like, I do not fear the moment of dying anymore, the idea of dying, the pain of death, or however it would happen. I'm not affected by this anymore. What I fear is, because like I said, I believe to a certain degree in reincarnation and in the soul. I believe, because we are this embodiment, and I believe that we have a soul, like our conscience, the way you see things, the way you look at things, the way you analyze things, your mind, the way it works. I feel it is too much to just be another brain. not a synapse, not a vessel of blood in your body, your bones, your everything. I feel it is a bit more than that. And that makes the fear of death real to me. I cannot understand the concept of what comes after, and I just cannot accept the fact that all of a sudden everything stops. For me, the fear of death is like not being able to understand what is going to happen to me when I die. And I don't mean like passing on. Like I said, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in heaven and hell. It is not about passing on here. It is not about reincarnation, of living again. No, no, no. Let's just say nothing really happens and everything stops. It is more the process of understanding the end of it all. The fact that there's a vacuum, a void. I feel like my conscious, it is too much. Like when my body stops, my conscious cannot simply handle it. Like it can't stop with my body because it became too much by now. And especially when you think so much, when you're thinking a lot, when you're analyzing everything, it's like it has gotten a life of its own outside of the body. And I feel that when I die, it is more like what is going to happen to this knowledge, the concept that I have become. Like not even the embodiment, the physical embodiment of it all. It is just really just when everything ends, when death is here. It is darkness in my head. I see it like it is black. Everything is black. There's darkness, but my conscious is still there because the darkness is there. Because I don't function anymore. There's no motor function anymore. My body is just gone. But I feel that my mind still has a certain life of its own, I guess. And that's where my fear comes from. The fear that I will die and my body will be gone, but that my conscious would still linger around. And I don't mean like a ghost passing through walls and all that bullshit, just that the knowledge is still there. And it's hard to explain this kind of thought when, for example, you already can't deny the existence of God, when you believe there is a God, or when you believe 100% purely that you will be reincarnated. See, the fear of death it stems from already your beliefs into all of that. Like if you believe in God, then it's a fear of judgment. When you believe in reincarnation, for example, if I would 100% believe in reincarnation, I would not fear death, because it is not the end. And to me, death is the end to a degree when my body is gone. But my conscious is still there. I feel it simply cannot end. And like I said, the fear is more not knowing, not understanding the concept of death. And nobody can understand the concept of death. I don't give you those stories from like near-death experiences. It is not the same. It is not the same because you are dead. You didn't experience actual death. It's like the unknown, I guess, that I fear in death itself. And like I said, I do believe in a certain degree of reincarnation, maybe. Like, I don't believe death is necessarily the end, and this is where the higher knowledge comes into place, where my mind, my consciousness has evolved to a certain degree, where I think so much, and I keep thinking non-stop all the time that I cannot accept the fact that it will be over. Like, it really is the absence of knowledge, I guess. Like, this video is really like just me throwing my thoughts out there. Like, I wanted to make a video like this, but it's not like I prepare a whole script or story, or I don't even have bullets point for this. It's just me rambling about some of the thoughts and trying to understand, make sense out of something that will never make sense to me until I die, of course. I do have a morbid sense of humor. I believe more could be there. I don't believe in God or anything, but I accept the notion of death. Like I said, I don't fear dying itself. I have a video in progress. I have a video in progress that I want to have uploaded after I die. It would be funny, and I'm hoping that obviously I'm gonna keep making this video. It's a hobby of mine, and at one point there's this grandpa, I'm like, who knows, 80 fucking years old, and all of a sudden you might not hear from me for a while, and then this video gets uploaded of me the way I am now, basically. And I just think it's such a funny concept. I don't know, I can toy with this concept because I'm not afraid of death itself. I don't believe in karma. I don't feel things are affected by each other in this way, like, because that is like the same as basically accepting the existence of God, of just something. No, there's nothing there's nothing like that. Nothing is affected by it. There's no thread that holds everything together like this. So it's like I said, it is more the notion of not understanding what comes after and trying to understand what comes after, when taking into account nothing else, like no God, like not even my conception of reincarnation, of the soul. It is just purely that, like what comes after, when I feel that the conscience, my mind, is more than attached to my body, like it's more than just brain and matter and all that kind of shit. Tell me how you guys, not even, like, you don't have to say like I do not fear death, like it is not just that. How do you see death? Like not everybody fears death. Like I said, it is different from me. I don't fear the act of dying. I don't fear death itself. It is the idea behind it, the concept of what happens when you're not bound by all these religious aspects or these philosophical aspects, when you really take it at its core. And I'm curious to see your thoughts on the matter. Stay real.